You are about to enjoy a production of the Ella Wellness Network. This is Wellness Fixes the Pod. I'm your host, Dr. Kelsey Vick, and we are about to get hotter and smarter in 5. Let's get into it. Let's make you the smartest person in the room where luteal phase conversations happen. Today, we are going to end our sort of Did You Know series with the luteal phase. So let's get hotter and smarter in 5 as we talk about fun facts on the luteal phase. By the time you're listening to this, the menstrual cycle program will have already been released on April 1st, April Fool's Day, which again, the menstrual cycle program is no joke. So if you want to sign up, I'll leave the link below. Thank you guys so much to everyone who already has signed up and joined us for the release of the menstrual cycle program. So let's get into it. In our luteal phase, we are overall shifted towards avoidance behaviors. I mentioned in the follicular phase episode that we have what we call approach avoidance behaviors, approaching opportunities, approaching growth, approaching just like pushing and growing and learning. This phase, we are shifted more towards those avoidance behaviors. So we avoid negative interactions. Again, both good, both something we want, but this phase, our mindset shifts and our behaviors can shift towards avoiding certain negative interactions or failures. There might be an evolutionary reason to this. Should we have a healthy fertilization implantation, this is the phase where we are sort of protecting that new life. So our bodies are overall shifted towards more of that protection phase throughout in order to protect that new life. In this phase, our body also retains more water. Creatine might be able to help though, because a lot of the time this luteal phase is associated with that general puffiness. And as we learned in Dr. Katie's episode, which I'll link below, about the benefits of creatine on our menstrual cycle, sometimes creatine loading can actually help us feel less puffy, feel more powerful, recover a little bit quicker compared to not utilizing it, because we're helping feed our muscles with that creatine, and that water is naturally going to have to shift into the muscles a little bit more in order to help move that like nutrient into the muscles. So the creatine can help shift the concentration of water from extracellularly, like in our tissues outside of our muscle tissues, into our muscles, so we can feel less puffy with creatine. And lastly, it's easier for us should a traumatic event happen in our luteal phase. Unfortunately, it's easier for us to recall all of the details of that event later on if that traumatic event happened in our luteal phase, because we are shifted to have a heightened emotional awareness. Again, we're shifted towards that protection. So it's easier for us to solidify that pathway and really remember that moment and the emotions and behaviors that went along with that moment later on as well. We also have more intrusive thoughts in the luteal phase. So woohoo! I know this is sort of like maybe a little bit doom and gloom, but just a reminder that our body has seasons, just like we all have seasons, fall, spring, summer, winter. We have months of the year. We have seasons, holiday seasons. Like we thrive on seasons and just this like regimented shift throughout the year. And the same thing can happen in the month. So even though our bodies are shifted towards protection, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to dread our luteal phase. It just means that we should lean in to how our body is hormonally and neurologically wired during this phase in order to maximize how we feel. We might not want to schedule something where we're really having to like push and grow and learn and be super motivated during this time. If we can, maybe we schedule something where we can stay a little bit more solitary, a little more isolated. We can get a little bit more creative in this phase and just really take this time as a time to remember, okay, I need to back off a little bit. I need to rest. And again, rest doesn't have to mean like sleep and do just yoga and breathwork practices. It more so means just understanding your body's need to lighten up a little bit, whether that be from work life or from even like a movement standpoint as well. So cheers to all of us being a little hotter and smarter now that we know fun facts, or maybe not so fun facts, about our luteal phase.